Okay, well, no one expected this for a variety of reasons, but Revosim have added a ton of new stuff to their sim racing ecosystem, including this, which I think everyone will agree is the showstopper, this Aston Martin Formula One rim, which, by the way, is €129, which is interesting because this, from Logitech G and McLaren, is €119, so pretty much the same price. So obviously I'm going to compare these two, but this isn't the only addition they've made. They've also added this gearbox you see here, which I would call it's not just a H pattern shifter because it also switches to sequential, and it's also a H pattern, but they call it a gearbox. And they've got this load cell handbrake here, and also you can see there's some additions I put in the actual wheelbase. They come from the Aston Martin kit. They've also added some Aston Martin racing gloves and a clutch as well. I'm going to get all into it because before I start, I need to let you know that as far as I understand it, Revosim's parent company, Nacon, or the company behind Revosim, is in some kind of financial difficulties, insolvency, some kind of procedure is going on with Nacon. Now, I'm not paid to make this review. I think I have an affiliate link. I'm not paid to make this review. However, if you're going to be buying equipment from a company that's going through some kind of insolvency process, you absolutely need to know about it. So if you ever see a review on Revosim hardware at the moment that doesn't mention that Nacon, the parent company, is going through some kind of financial restructuring, insolvency, whatever, you need to question that person 100%. I don't know if people are getting paid. I don't know if people are, desperate to make money on affiliate or something, but you are the most important person when it comes to this video because it's your hard-earned money that you might be considering on spending on this equipment as opposed to other equipment. So I just want to let you know. Now, it might be a similar situation to what happened with Fanatec a couple of years ago, where they were eventually bought out by Corsair, and I also let you know what's going on with Fanatec. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation because the parent company doesn't seem to be in fantastic shape, but they've just released all this new hardware, which I'm going to now review the merits of the hardware kind of separate. I'm not going to keep talking about the insolvency. I'm going to look at the hardware and its merits. So hopefully that makes sense. If you appreciate my honesty and transparency on that, just please leave me a subscription, leave me a like, and share this video in the sim racing forums. I really appreciate it. So we've got the Aston Martin hub, Aston Martin rim, which goes on the existing Revosim hub, which is very, very, very interesting because there's quite a bit of assembly that you need to do for this rim. That means it feels a little bit more like a Lego set or Meccano set than what we're used to seeing with high-end wheels now. Remember, this is not priced at high-end wheel, but where you get an incredible unboxing experience. You take it out the box, you just plug it straight in, and it works. Stuff like the Lamborghini Moser Essenza, the Porsche Mission R, also the Porsche CSL wheel from Fanatec. Like, those kind of wheels have a great unboxing and they go straight on. This one is not like that. The box is pretty nice, but the first thing you see when you take this out is actually underneath that it's just a Revosim logo. So the rim itself doesn't actually have an Aston Martin logo on it. Even down here it says Revosim, not Aston Martin, which I find really interesting. There's quite an elegant way of getting the Aston Martin branding. You put this magnetic cap on and then this just snaps on. But that also has a massive Aramco logo on it. So at some point you start to feel like maybe it's kind of like I'm just like doing Aramco branding. But anyway, it is legit. It does come with extra button caps, so you can have the official colours, or you can mix and match a little bit like I've done, which is fantastic. It also comes with carbon shifters, which is great. I like these carbon shifters, but it doesn't stop the initial shifters not being magnetic. If you remember when I interviewed the inventor of this hardware at Nacon over a year ago now, we had a great interview where I just quizzed him on everything. These are not magnetic, and that's a compromise. However, they feel better with the carbon shifters, I would say, for sure. And the result is, I think if you're in the Revosim ecosystem, and notwithstanding all the financial situation, if you like the look of this, you're probably going to like it in your hands. Like, it's quite a nice grip, actually. I was surprised how much I like the grip. Like, this is definitely not a bad wheel. Dare I say, it definitely goes toe-to-toe with the Logitech G McLaren wheel. 100% it goes toe-to-toe. Some people might say that this wheel, the Aston Martin wheel, looks better. The McLaren wheel doesn't really know what to do at the top here. That's all unnecessary. This feels more logical, unlike the one from Logitech, ironically. However, this one, papaya versus whatever you call this green from Aston Martin, I think it goes toe to toe with the Logitech, which is good news if you're in the Revosim ecosystem. How many people are in the Revosim ecosystem? I don't know, because when I went to download the app to update all the firmware here, it says 100 plus downloads. Now I don't know what point it goes to like 500 plus or 1,000. Like I'm guessing it goes to 1,000 plus, which to me indicates that less than 1,000 people have downloaded the app, which is pretty much mandatory for this hardware. It's a very good app, by the way. You just connect it via Bluetooth. There's a Bluetooth pairing button on the back. You update everything. You can change all your settings. You don't need to log in or sign up or give away all your details. It's just a fantastic app. The fact that it says 100 plus kind of has me a little bit worried. And I do actually feel a little bit sorry for the people at Revosim generally, because I have a feeling that all of this stuff should have come out a long time ago. I suspect the financial issues at Nacon have impacted that, because all of this stuff makes sense, but it feels like it's coming onto the market a little bit late, in my opinion. However, let's go on to the Gearbox, which I clamped to the table because, again, going back to my interview with Nacon, I was really impressed with how everything easily clamps. They all come with clamps in the box. So I clamped the wheelbase, I clamped the gearbox, I clamped the handbrake, and it was fantastic. It was really good. And I was like, this is amazing. This is how it should be. The clamps are just like so easy to use. They just slot right in. So I'll try and show you here actually if I can. It's unbelievably easy to use. So this is my handbrake. That's the clamp. So it has a slot for it. So you just slot it in and you clamp it, and it's not like the Logitech RS50 clamps. These clamps are better. They're like metal in the right places. While I'm on the handbrake, let me show you. It's got a spring in there at the moment. It comes in the box with elastomers of differing strength, so you can change it and then you can tune it in the app. So a lot of it makes like a ton of sense. Like it's really well thought out stuff. Like stuff slots in or snaps in magnetically, if I can get this to slap in. And then I can put it back and I can clamp it. And this makes, again, a load of sense for someone who's not sure if you really like sim racing. Because it's good quality equipment. You're not buying tacky equipment. You can just clamp it, and then you can unclamp it. And if you want to get a rig down the line, you can put it on your rig, which is fantastic. So that's the handbrake, which I've been using, which is quite nice. The shifter, originally I thought I wasn't going to like it because it has a very heavy spring back to middle, which I think you can tune. I think you can adjust that. But I thought maybe I'm not going to like it. But I actually really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun in Assetto Corsa Rally with this. It's a better shifter than the Logitech RS H pattern shifter. This is a better H pattern for me. And it has what people said Logitech should have done, which has the mode where it goes sequential, which is fantastic. It also comes in the box with another like knob on the top that you can just screw on and off, which is fantastic. And it doesn't have the lockout. To get to 7th and 8th, you have to go in like that, and also to get to reverse, you have to go in like that as well. Against that, I did have some issues in Assetto Corsa Evo that I couldn't quite work out with shifting. I don't know if it was Evo. I don't know if it's because the software in the app for this has an auto blip, which is kind of crazy, and I don't know if that was messing stuff up. But I found it difficult to shift in Evo. But in Assetto Corsa Rally, it was absolutely fine. With the Aston Martin wheel, I'm going to go a little bit all around the place here. With the Aston Martin wheel, I drove this in Project Motor Racing in the Aston Martins, both the GT3 and the Hypercar, and it just felt really good. So if you're in Revosim, I can definitely recommend this. They also do a bundle that comes with Aston Martin gloves for about €20 more. They're also going to do a bundle with the RS Pure. There'll be pricing in the description. Remember that this Pure bundle sometimes has gone on massive discounts. I'll let you know about that. But if you've got a Revosim bundle for €129, no brainer. Absolutely no brainer, that one. This gearbox is €299. That's quite expensive. That ain't a no brainer. However, if you want an all-in-one system on Revosim, it makes sense. Again, the handbrake I think is $179. I think that's quite dear for the handbrake, given that you can get on AliExpress like this sort of handbrake much cheaper than that. But again, if you want it all-in-one, they do go into the back of the wheelbase, or they can go into your PC via USB-C. I've all got it running into the back of my wheelbase here. The wheelbase, I haven't been on it for a long time. Obviously, as part of the review of this stuff, I'm back on the wheelbase. Pleasantly surprised by it's not rubbish. It's quite good. It's quite refined. In something like Assetto Corsa Rally, it was quite nice. In Project Motor Racing, it was quite nice. I felt like I could, especially in Rally, kind of like it went light quickly enough for me to let the wheel run loose from my hands, regrip it, kind of stuff like that. So no lag in it. Obviously it should be, but a way better experience than I had recently in the PXN V6 Ultra or the VD10, whichever is the really cheap one that I did the video on, which is an unbelievable bargain. It's way cheaper than this, but this RS Pure blows it out of the water. So all in all, they seem like good products to me. They seem like good products that Revosim have taken some time to think how to do it. Like, I respect that. I respect Revosim taking the time to do that. Some of them are competitively priced. I think this is competitively priced, to be honest. And I'm buying rims off AliExpress now. Like, you know, I bought this off AliExpress for my Logitech. This is actually carbon fiber, like actually carbon fiber, and with suede handles. And this was about 70 quid. Now, this isn't carbon fiber. It has carbon fiber shifters, but the whole thing's not carbon fiber. However, this ain't Aston Martin, so I think these again kind of go toe to toe, because you're getting some branding on it. But let me know what you think in the comments. I just think it's so difficult to review Revosim products right now because it's just weird, right? You know, the company's in a weird state, but the products seem solid. But my advice really, unless you want to go for the Aston Martin, so if you've already got Revosim hardware, you probably don't want to miss out on this. Like, even let's say something bad happens to Revosim, you probably want to have this with your system. But if you're looking to get into Revosim, my honest advice would be just wait and see what happens with the financial situation. Hopefully they get out of it or they get bought or something. But at the moment, it's just not clear to me what's going on, notwithstanding these products are coming to market. Let me know what you think. Make sure to subscribe if you appreciate these reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.